soul session without James Brown. No, that won't be right. So you just heard I Feel Good, I Got You. And that brings us to exactly 7 o'clock. And it brings us to the COVID update on HRB Breakfast this Soul Friday. And we've got the good doctor, Dr. Seshni Mudlia, right on the other side of the screen, I'll say.
Good morning, Apoku. Hope you're well. And well,
I'm very well. I'm very well, thank you.
I see you've got something around one of your hands, your wrist.
No. Just my wrist. There's a bit of tension in my wrist. My beautiful wife, who's a nurse, just said that you wear this, and it was sorted, and it's actually sorting it. So yeah, I'm all right. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, no, it's good morning. Yeah, I mean, another day, and hopefully it'll be a lot warmer than the last few days have been. It's been a bit chilly.
No, unfortunately, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. But hey, we've just got to move on with what we've got. We've just got to make the best out of the worst situation, isn't it?
I thought I was the only one feeling the cold, but yeah, it seems to be a lot colder, and we've had to put the heating on. So, but I mean, everything's good. And again, the COVID update. I think India is what we wanted to talk about because there seems to be a concern with the number of cases in India and also the number of deaths. So they say COVID.
So what's going on? What's going on in India then?
Yeah, they seem to be increase in the number of cases. So the news today is COVID infections, another peak with 131,968 infections on Friday, with a single highest death of 780 in the last 24 hours. And there's a shortage of the vaccine in several states in India. So, Mumbai will remain closed. Due to the unavailability of the vaccines, and there's restrictions and curfews enforced in Delhi, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu. So it seems to be, quite a concern. I'm not sure what's been going on, but the news of today is that they gave 43 lakh doses on one day, the highest given anywhere in the world, according to Harshvardhan. So they have given.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
A lakh is 1,000. 43,000, I think. So they've given no. So I think in total, India has given 9,433,462. So they've given quite a lot in terms of the figures, if that's the correct figures. I need to just check. But India, obviously, there seems to be concerns about the the rollout of the vaccine, as well as in terms of the number of people getting the infection.
I would have thought that India was doing very well when it came to vaccination. I mean, that's the story I heard earlier on, or we read earlier on, about the fact that the rollout is really going well, and then suddenly all the the rise in infections and so that's a bit of a concern, isn't it?
Yes, so they're saying, sorry, a lakh is 100,000, so it'll be 100,000 of that. So they're saying that they are running out of doses. It seems to be that they're still seeing 90 plus cases of the coronavirus and 780 deaths. And obviously there's a shortage of the vaccine supply. I mean, even Sachin Tendulkar, the cricket legend, he left hospital. He has been released from hospital after a week of having contracted the COVID-19. So he was taken to Mumbai. So it seems quite serious. I'm not sure why there's an increase. Whether it's because the rules were sort of, relaxed. Yeah. So whether it's due to that or, what it could be, I don't know. But it seems.
See, India is a hugely populated nation. Probably, is it the second most populated country in the world, isn't it?
After China, yeah.
After China, and there are a lot of people in one space at any time.
Yeah.
So I sort of can understand why, if strict measures are not taken, it can spread rapidly in India because, and then the family system and the culture in India is such that families are very close. People, people are very close to each other and all that, and that could also be some sort of a problem when it comes to infection.
Yeah.
People get together all the time, don't they?
Yes. I mean, having spoken to a lot of doctors that I teach in India, I mean, what they had told me is they were using masks. Even people on the streets, the beggars, everyone was using masks. So they were taking obviously precautions. But as you said, the families are so close knit. When there were like celebrations like Mahashivaratri and all these other celebrations, we saw Satguru. They still had celebrations. And the temples, obviously, some of them were still open and still having lots of people, and some people still having weddings and gatherings. So obviously, this definitely has not played a good, effect, and has affected them in terms of the COVID. I mean, at the moment, they're saying that India COVID, no end in sight as doctors battle the second wave. So it seems quite concerning at the moment, with over like up to 90 to 100,000 in the 24 hours, and then the number of deaths increasing. But they are actually facing a second intensive wave. So um, this is what is being said. And obviously, Narendra Modi did warn 3 weeks ago. He said India will face trouble if action was not taken to stem the latest coronavirus wave. So Narendra Modi has known about this, and this has come. The Prime Minister did say that they were going to face trouble. So he actually sort of predicted this was going to happen. And he was urging the ministers, chief ministers of countries 3 weeks ago, to take quick and decisive steps to stop the second peak as the nationwide infections reach 11 million, over 11 million. So he said if we do not stop the pandemic right now, there will be a nationwide outbreak. We have to immediately take steps to stop the emerging, or we'll face trouble. I mean, so that's surprising. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, his wisdom, and obviously him predicting it, is not a surprise. Narendra Modi is a very spiritual person, and it seems like they knew this was coming, but obviously it's a bit too late now. They're already in the second wave, and we'll just have to wait and see whether the measures in Delhi and other places are going to help stop the rate and the number of deaths and cases as well.
Yeah, but looking on the other side of the coin, I would say that India will overcome it. They will overcome it. I mean, they're very resilient people. That nation, very, very resilient, and they might face problems now, but you mark it on the wall, Dr. Seshni, they will come out of this. They will definitely come out of it.
I know you said that.
We wish them all the best. Yeah.
I know you said that yesterday. So, I mean, they just, I mean, they will come out of it. I mean, it's only been like 3 days where they've had the highest number of cases.
They will come out of it. I mean, I trust them. They will come out of it, definitely. Yeah, they will come out of it.
No, I think they will, but obviously, they will definitely. And it was also coinciding with the rollout of the vaccine. So as I said, sorry, it was 9. It was in terms of the lakh, 1 lakh is 100,000. So in terms of the lakh, they said they've given 89,100,000. So 89,000 lakh, or 89,000 of the
89,000 lakhs. Is that what you're talking about?
I think so. Yeah, in terms of the. Anyway. Yeah. So I think in terms of the number of the vaccines, and also those that have got the second doses. So they are moving quite fast with the vaccine, but obviously it seems that they're still concerned. I think Harsh Vardhan, he's a health minister, and he's quite concerned. So at the moment, they're saying they have about they have 2.31% of people in ICU, 4.5% on oxygen support, and 0.46 of the critical patients are on ventilators. So there's a meeting today with the 24th meeting of the group of ministers. So they are meeting today, and obviously they're going to try and see how they can sort this out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's come to the UK now.
Yeah.
And I just read this morning about the government having announced plans to safely reopen international travels. But the government's saying that, and they cannot yet confirm whether foreign holidays can resume on the 17th of May. I was so sure that that would happen.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm still sure. I'm still quite positive that it will happen. And then they talked about the traffic light system. We touched on that yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah.
And with countries, grouped in either red, amber, or green. And there's been a lot of criticisms, though. Well, first of all, let me read out what the traffic light system means.
Yeah.
With green, passengers will not need to quarantine on return, but must take a pre-departure test. The type is unspecified, as well as a PCR test on return to the UK. So, yeah. And then for amber, travelers will need to quarantine for 10 days, as well as taking a pre-departure test and 2 PCR tests. That's what's going on right now, isn't it? And then with the red, the passengers will have to pay for a 10-day stay in a managed quarantine hotel, as well as a pre-departure test and 2 PCR tests. And some new countries have just been moved into in the red. That includes Pakistan, the Philippines, Kenya, and Bangladesh.
Yeah.
They've all been added to the red list. So yeah, so that's what the traffic light system is about. A lot of people are, the travel agency and some airlines are criticizing this. What the government plans to do, or what the government is suggesting be done. They're saying, like, for example, EasyJet, they're saying that this policy risks rewinding the clock to a time when only the wealthy people could afford to travel. What's your take on this?
Yes, I think at the moment, obviously, we knew that this was going to come into effect. We've been talking about travel for some time, and I think the traffic light system is something to try and look at. How travel has actually played a role in transmitting the virus, and getting, obviously we got higher numbers because of people traveling abroad into other countries. So whether it was people taking the virus from here to other countries, or from bringing the variants across. So this is how the pandemic started. So it's not surprising that now, as we ease down the third lockdown, that in the UK, that they are looking at this traffic light system. So it's going to be obviously something not a lot of people are going to be happy with. I don't think so, looking at the list and looking at the system in terms of the red, amber, and the green, and then also having to do tests and the cost of the test, which is £210. So anything from 190 to 210. So, and having to do some of them like 2 tests. So it is going to obviously be something people are not happy about, and that's in some of the news as well. But unfortunately, this is the way forward if you want to travel, and if you want to make sure that you are safe and others are safe, and to reduce the rate of the infections, deaths, and the spread. This is the way forward, and this is happening across the world. It's not just in the UK. Other countries also will have their very strict rules, which they have already. Certain countries are not allowing people from other countries, and we saw this very early on with South Africa and other countries, USA, where Malaysia, Hong Kong, Singapore, where they stopped travel to a lot of countries. So I think UK was not very strict, to be honest, and this is probably the strictest that we've come so far.
Yeah, I do understand. The problem here for myself and a lot of people, and of course the travel, the travel industry, the airline industries and all that, is the fact that that's going to stop a lot of people from traveling, which um, it's a bit here and a bit there. The reason is, if I have to go to, say, I have to go to Jamaica, for example, and I'll have to buy a ticket for probably about $1,000 or £1,000. Then on top of that, I'll have to do a COVID test to go, pay for it, and then on my way back, pay another £210. Now, if I am not wealthy, I would have saved for months to be able to afford this trip, and then I'm going to have to add this on top. There's the likelihood that I'll say, okay, you know what, I'm not going anywhere. Let me just stay, and then the travel industry is losing money. Yeah. The tourism industry is losing money, and therefore the government will be losing money because there'll be no taxes paid on these ventures. So it's a bit tricky, really.
And you haven't even said about the hotels. Some people that have to go stay in hotels.
Exactly.
It is costly, definitely.
Hospitality business is losing business as well. So I think the government should try and do something about this thing. I'm not saying that, of course, they're doing everything to save lives, which I respect and understand, but they probably should weigh certain things and take a bit of the cost of travelers and passengers. It's a bit too much.
I think it is. I mean, the way you've explained it, a lot of people are in that position and will be thinking about it in that way, and they're not happy about it. So, yes, maybe the government does need to look again at what the recommendations and the traffic light system. But I doubt that they're going to change it much. I think it's going to be a case that if you really want to go to travel, you do need to travel. So there's the Civil Aviation Authority will be given additional enforcement power to act on airlines that have breached consumer rights. And a COVID charter will be introduced on the 17th of May, setting out what is required of passengers and when the rights, and what are their rights while measures are in place. So there obviously is going to be a lot of concerns from the aviation and different authorities, and also for, like you're saying, for passengers to know what their rights are. But yes, as it stands, it is very strict and very expensive. And not a lot of people are going to be able to afford to go on a holiday. I think it also depends on the destination that they're going to. And as you pointed out rightly as well, look at the hospitality industry, the travel business, airlines. It's affected a lot of the businesses because they've not been in service for a long time, or they've had on and off periods of being able to fly, or having people like stay in hotels, and holiday resorts. So it's definitely something that's impacting globally and not just in the UK.
And if I may add, I think you probably will agree with me, of course, coming from your background, the fact that we should also think about the mental health state of people not being able to afford to go on a holiday or travel or just, I think I believe that it's also going to affect the mental health.
Definitely. For holidays, being a psychiatrist and doctor, obviously, going on holidays is something people look forward to. And it's something that it creates memories. And it's something where you go and it's your time to, if you've worked the whole like for a certain amount of months. You want to take a holiday, you want to have a break on your own or with your family or friends and your loved ones. And a lot of people look forward to it. And because it's a downtime, it's relaxation time, it's a time to
Yeah.
unwind and to detech and, you know, just get away from the stress and the hustle and bustle and the normal day to day routine.
And create better and stronger bonds with your family as
Exactly.
well. You know?
Exactly. So and it's memories as well. If you look back, the happiest times when we talk to people, when you ask them, it'll come about their holidays. They went to this country, they went to that country. I know you love traveling. Jeff White always talks about all his travels. So
He's always gallivanting around
I
the world. Yeah.
know. So it must be so hard for him
Yeah.
and Sue. And yeah, so in terms of, you know, mental health, it is going to impact on people's mental health. I mean, I think
Yeah.
fortunately some people have been traveling, you know, on and off during this period. But obviously, when this last lockdown has been much longer, and we've not envisaged that it was going to go on for so long till the 17th of May, and
Mm.
of it now with new restrictions imposed. So it is going to impact on people's mental health because people were waiting for May, waiting for the summer holidays, which is the longest holidays, and there's a possibility they might not be able to go. But I think summer holidays will go ahead. I think it is going to happen. So I think we just need to be sort of patient. I think the reason
Okay.
also the government wants to take it easy because, as you know, we're in a very, very good place in terms of the number of infections, the number of
Yeah.
deaths,
Yeah.
and the rollout of the vaccine. So I think the government is being very cautious after obviously being criticized in the first wave of our pandemic, where we had thousands of people die and travel. You know, that was in February, March, when we
Yeah.
cancelled our holiday, our trip to Disneyland.
Mm.
And you know, that was for Arian's birthday on 13th of Feb. Even though we didn't start to see much of the pandemic then, it was just the beginning stages in the world.
Yeah.
But now, even you know, when the kids have asked about traveling, you know, abroad, we've said we have to just wait and see what the guidelines are. And I think a lot of it's not just adults, it's children, it's families, you know, it's the elderly people that, you know, usually go on these trips, these safaris, or the
Mm.
Caribbean on the cruises. So it's impacting on everyone. But I think on the plus side, what we can say is that local travel can continue. So it'll depend what the government sets for that in terms of traveling. But the holidays can start. You know, there are holidays places open already from the 12th of April, and then from the 17th of May, sorry, you can actually go with other families. So it's not to say, so I think what we'll have to do is people will have to look at alternatives, look at what's going to be the most cost effective, what's going to be the safest,
Yeah.
and what.
I can't wait. I can't wait to go to Africa.
Yes, I can imagine. It is obviously something you and your family look forward to going to travel. All of us do, but yeah, I'm quite optimistic, like you are. I think things will get better.
Yeah. I'm very optimistic.
And
I
I think
think that things will change.
this is going to be like a good test to see, you know, what's going to happen because obviously we don't want to go back to where we were
Yeah.
in the pandemic. And this is one way of, you know, because as we pointed out, when the pandemic started, it was because people were traveling all over, going on holidays, and also looking at the different variants. You know, that's another reason why we have this traffic light system, because of the UK, South African, Brazilian, Nigerian, you know, all the different variants that are around. So, you know,
Yeah.
there's a
Oh,
concern.
okay. All right, then let's before we do the numbers, we haven't really got much time, but
No.
quickly let's touch on what's happening in Wales.
Yeah.
I think that it's really good news that gyms will be allowed to reopen and people will be able to actually form extended households. You know, like the bubble system again.
Yeah.
You know, a week, and it's coming a week earlier than planned in Wales. Well,
Yeah.
that's really good, you know.
Yeah.
So the gyms and leisure centers will be able to reopen, from the 3rd of May instead of the 10th of May. That is fantastic. What do you think?
Yes, no, I think Wales has done very well, and obviously they've I mean, they've only had like 6 new cases according to public health on Thursday, April
Yeah,
8th. So I mean,
it's a massive drop in cases, which is really really good.
exactly, and that would be amazing if that was the case here with us. But hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah, so the figures obviously are there. You know, the figures have shown that Wales has done extremely well, and that's why they obviously able to continue with the rollout of the vaccine and also be able to open different places like gyms. So the figures show that 1,500,000. In terms of there is a rollout of the vaccine. I mean, the total number of deaths in labs confirmed in Wales is 5,527.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the total number of people who've had the first dose of the vaccine, yes, was 1,519,760. And those that
Okay.
have received the second dose have
That,
484,739.
yeah,
So
that's good news. There, that's
yeah,
good news
so
for Wales.
obviously
So should we
Wales is opening up
yeah,
their doors. Yeah, yeah,
shall we do the numbers now then, please?
yes, yes. So numbers as of today, which is the 9th of April 2021.
Mhm.
Coronavirus worldometer figures are 134,548,724 global number of infections. Total number of
Mhm.
deaths globally is nearing 3 million with 2,915,432, and total recovered globally is 108,341,864. The top
Mhm.
5 countries remain, I think, are still 1 to 5, same countries, and UK number 6. USA, 31,717,404 positive cases with total number of deaths, 573,856.
Mhm.
Brazil, number 2, with 13,286,324 positive cases with 345,287 deaths. India, number 3. So India's number 3, but I mean, over this weekend, it might change to India going to
Yes,
number
possible.
2, which is
Yeah.
what we were talking about a few weeks ago. We
Mhm.
actually did say that. Um, so India's number 3, but I mean, we're hoping obviously things get better in India. India's number 3 with 13,060,542 positive cases, with 167,694 deaths. France is number 4 with 4,939,258 positive cases with 98,065 deaths. Russia, number 5, with 4,614,834 positive cases with 101,845 deaths. And UK, number 6, with 4,370,321 positive cases with 126,980. And we'll come to the 24-hour figures in a minute. South Africa, number 19, with 1,554,975 positive cases with 53,173 deaths. And Ghana is number 91 with 91,109 positive cases with 752 deaths. And so Ghana, South Africa doing quite well. And UK, the 24-hour figures is still obviously still looking quite optimistic with 53 new deaths, every life matters, and 3,030 new cases. So
Yeah,
it
but
seems,
it's gone up a bit from yesterday and the day before,
yeah,
isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's doubled. So yeah, it is still a bit, obviously we still need to monitor that. And on Monday, things are going to open. So the shops and businesses and places to
Mm.
go and eat out. And so I think coming the 12th of, after the weekend, we're going to start to see how that's going to impact the opening of the businesses and then later travel. But yeah,
Mm,
have a fantastic weekend and hope you have, enjoy the weather, whatever it is, and stay safe and let's spread the love and not the virus. Um,
absolutely, absolutely. Well, yeah, I am definitely going to enjoy the weather. I don't care what it is,
do you
rain,
have any
shine,
plans to
snow.
go out or just indoors?
No, no,
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to stay in with the family, and we're going to have a good time.
I think
Uh,
that's what most people are doing. It's about staying
yeah,
indoors. And, I think Easter weekend was when people went, and, and the figures we're seeing is post Easter weekend, which is good.
mm,
Yeah, so hopefully I think most people are staying indoors. We'll be staying indoors as well. But on Sunday we're going to the Sikya Mahikari Center. So I'll let you know on Monday how the travels go, whether I'm traveling with a car or the
fantastic.
train, and
Or
what's
the train,
London
yeah.
like. But I suspect that it's going to be very quiet, and
Mm.
so because it's in Croydon, the
Well,
center.
we might go to London on Sunday to drop off Amy, and
Okay,
then
so you probably
just
will
probably
also
drop her
have
off
some
in some.
update on yeah.
Yes,
I
yes,
think
yes.
driving is quite safe, so we've usually
Yeah,
driven
we're
to
just
the
driving in and driving out.
yeah.
So
It depends
yeah,
on
that's
where in
literally what.
London, but yeah, Croydon is still okayish in terms of traffic. So we usually get to the center, the Secure Maikai Center Park, and it's quite safe because then you're not mixing with anyone else.
Mm,
And then obviously, but even when we've gone on the trains, has been quite safe as well. So
yeah,
either way is really good. But have a safe journey and enjoy
and
your
thank you. You
travels,
have a
and we'll
safe
talk
journey as well,
we'll
and a
talk
great
about
weekend
it on
on
Monday.
Monday. Yeah, yeah. But after this show, after the news at 8, Jeff White, The Godfather, is bringing us
Yes.
Thank God. It's Friday. It's a 3-hour show.
Is it ladies
Um,
only or something or
no,
something I
today's
saw?
not ladies. Well, today's for everybody, you know.
Oh, so everyone. Oh, yeah, yes. I think
Yeah,
one of the days was ladies only, but there was a theme or something I was reading on.
yeah. He always has a scene for every day, you know. That
Yes, there
man.
was a theme, so I was trying to figure out what the. Yeah, I did
Yeah,
look at it, and
yeah.
then
Go on the Godfather's good,
I'll have a look. Thank God
good,
it's
good,
Friday.
good morning show Facebook page, and you see everything right there. And then you can
Yeah.
put in a request as well
Oh
because he's
well.
playing. It's going to be doing 1 hour of soul, 1 hour of rock, and 1 hour of anything and everything really.
Oh,
So it's
Jeff
a
White is
3-hour show too.
amazing. He's great, as
Yeah,
well as you are, and it's great to be to listen to you guys. You're so inspiring and so motivational, and
yeah,
I love listening to the radio. I know we're out of time, but yeah, we'll talk another day about how to uplift
yeah.
our
But
spirits listening
I
to the
wanted to
radio
tell you
show.
about what's going to. I
Yeah,
wanted
go
to
on.
talk to you about what's going
Sorry.
on today on Hospital Radio Bedford. You know, The Godfather, as I said to you, will start from 8 and finish at 11.
Yeah.
3 hours of solid music. And then James Murray will take over for another 3 hours from 11 to 2 with the James Murray's midday match. Then we have Barry Tappenden with Barry Tappenden in the afternoon.
Oh,
You know, yeah, beautiful show from
wow.
2 to 4. We'll have Steve's Corner with Steve Portman from 5 to 7, and the HRB Community Services Information Show once again with Barry again.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
for 2 hours, yeah, from 7 to 9. And Andy Norbury will bring us the Friday Rock Show. If you like rock, man, this is the place to be with Andy Norbury. Man, that man, he rocks
He
when
can
he's
rock
playing his
it.
rock, you know.
So
Yeah,
yeah, no,
absolutely
that would be
brilliant.
amazing to listen to, and yeah,
It's
definitely
amazing,
going to be
yeah.
tuned in and enjoy a chilled Friday. I just hope it's chilled. It feels like it's going to be a really good day and a good weekend.
For me, it's a good day already.
I know it just feels like
Yeah,
it. I think, yeah. What I was
yeah,
saying about the radio, to uplift people's spirits is I remember, driving to work or, I've learned so much from listening to the radio. That's why I love being on radio because I
mhm,
know, there's people listening and they do get the information, and it also helps uplift your spirits depending on how the presenters are.
yeah,
There's certain people just have that ability to motivate you, which I love about your
yeah,
show and about
yeah.
Jeff
But one
and
thing I can
others.
promise you, if you listen to the presenters here on Hospital Radio Bedford,
Yeah,
you will be uplifted. Amazing
definitely.
presenters, amazing human beings they are, these
Yes.
people.
And as you said, the
Anyway,
music that they're playing, it's like all, whatever your interests are, there's a show for you. It's
everything and
catering to
anything here.
everyone. and
Yeah.
it's part of the hospital. So, people in the hospital are listening to it and keeping uplifted. And you guys have done an amazing job during the pandemic. So,
Thank you.
thank you so much, for all your
Thank you,
service.
Dr. Stephanie. Have a
Yeah.
fantastic weekend, and
Yes,
we'll see you on
definitely.
Monday.
We'll enjoy going to the center. Yeah, and
All right.
hopefully you enjoy your trip to London as well.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks everyone for joining. There was a Hospital Radio Bedford, and namaste. Have a fantastic day. Have a fantastic weekend, and thank God it's Friday, guys. Bye. Lots of love.